The Super Mario Bros. Movie, everyone's favorite video game to film adaptation, besides Sonic Movie 3, Sonic 2, and maybe even Sonic 1. It beautifully brings the worlds and characters of Mario to the big screen, but not every character gets the look they probably deserve. That's why today we're looking at every character's portrayal in the Super Mario Bros. Movie and ranking them from worthless to elite. Starting things off with our title character, Mario might be the most true to form in the entire cast. And I don't mean the voice, that's just okay. After quitting his 9-to-5 job to chase his dream, everyone in the world is clowning on him, including most of his family, and the only person that's really on his side is his brother. These two are inseparable, until they're separated, but their relationship is very strong, and despite both of them being ostracized for seemingly their entire lives, Mario's remained confident and outgoing. When Foreman Spike gets all up in his face and insults him and his brother, he stands up to him, despite the very apparent size disparity. And he's an underdog for the entire movie. Peach is more skilled than him and straight up says,
"He's not important!"
The King of the Kongs treats him like dirt, and even with Donkey Kong, who he defeated in combat and saved the life of, he's not respected at all. But that doesn't stop him. He keeps taking on bigger and bigger challenges, getting his ass beat again and again, but he keeps getting up. That level of perseverance and optimism is exactly what you'd want to see out of Super Mario, or any hero for that matter. And while the world of this movie tries its best to make him seem irrelevant and not good enough, he overcomes it all, and gets the movie named after him as a result. He's certainly looked more capable in a lot of other media, but the depth in his character is unlike anything we've seen before it, so it's borderline elite, but a definite solid portrayal.
You just got Luigi.
Luigi faces most of the same setbacks as Mario, but where Mario runs at them head-on and puts his well-being aside to succeed, Luigi is the polar opposite, and puts his tail between his legs before you can even finish threatening him. The juxtaposition between the characters is fully explored when they're separated, with Mario going on to explore the Mushroom Kingdom, and Luigi getting captured almost immediately. Now, to be fair, there weren't hordes of enemies to greet Mario when he landed, so, Luigi's reaction is justified, and he did survive for a little bit, but it does accentuate the fact that Luigi's a coward. Even still, I'm convinced that had he been dropped in the Mushroom Kingdom, he would have reacted about the same way. But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way to start the movie. It stays true to his established personality in the games, and provides a ton of room for his character to grow throughout the film. And they tease that growth multiple times throughout the movie. When Luigi's being escorted to Bowser's castle, and it flashes back to that scene of Mario defending him when they were babies, it shows the sad realization he has on how dependent he's been on his brother for his entire life, and how being apart from him this time for like 5 minutes got him basically a death sentence. But the opportunity for him to overcome that presents itself during the wedding scene. The bottom of his cage melts in the lava below him, and suddenly it stops getting lowered and provides him a very brief window to climb out, which he starts to, and we're all rooting for him, until he loses his grip and needs Mario to swoop in and scoop him up. And it's like, okay, maybe there's still time for him to make a push, and after the big fight moves its way to Brooklyn, Mario's done for and hiding away in the pizza place. Something more characteristic of Luigi, and instead of stepping up in his brother's absence, he hides in a friggin' trash bin to further humiliate himself. Then he kinda comes in clutch right at the end, but he finds that courage through his brother's courage, still showing that dependence. And yeah, they both save the day, and Peach is like, "Oh Luigi, you're so brave!" And he's like, yeah, that's kinda my thing. And I get it's supposed to be funny, but after failing to step up multiple times in the last 10 minutes, I can't help but feel bad. He's gotta go down in missed opportunity. They had all the chances in the world to give him an arc, but didn't. And also, for a movie called Super Mario Brothers, Luigi's pretty forgotten about for a lot of it. He was demoted to a damsel in distress in order to promote the next character.
Ew, no.
Movie Princess Peach is not only the strongest character in the film, but she might also be the most OP Peach portrayal of all time. When we first meet her, she's confidently telling her people not to worry about a quite literal world-ending threat. And when she first encounters Mario, she whoops his ass like it's nothing, and makes fun of him for being short. Then when she pulls out the obstacle course, she demolishes it to flex on Mario, and he can't even do it after trying all night.
I got it right away, but I grew up here.
They go into her backstory a bit, and it shows a lot of adversity she had to overcome to get where she is today, which was honestly awesome to see. The only real downside to her character is that she makes Mario do a lot of the fighting for her. He's the one that's gotta go in the cage with the monkey. She just chills up top with the royalty. And even in the big fight at the end, she's standing off to the side and not even seen as a threat by Bowser. Earlier in the wedding scene though, she did a number on Bowser's army and froze the king himself, so there's no question she's a strong warrior. And her commitment to standing up for her people, even against impossible odds, is respectable as hell, and deserves a slot up in elite.
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die!
Toad's another character they did a great job with in the film. Right when Mario meets him, he's brave enough to approach the strange creature that spawned out of nowhere, and is super eager to help. He's running through the Mushroom Kingdom, knows everyone's name, he's going through this obstacle course like it's nothing, and thinks quickly on his feet to help Mario get in the castle. Then when Peach and Mario set out for adventure, he tags along with them, which Peach points out is uncharacteristic of a Toad, and that totally lines up with the games. I always found it weird that some Toads were completely helpless, while others were just as capable as Mario. And this movie shows that heroic side that some Toads have better than any game. He's not as strong as Mario or Peach, obviously, but he's just as brave and consistently delivers for his princess and stands up for his pal throughout the movie, earning him a very comfortable spot in solid Portrayal.
Love really. Con ustedes, las
really makes a guy come out of his shell.
For the first half of this movie, Bowser looks every bit like his most menacing portrayal yet. He invades a kingdom of penguins to open the movie, his troops make a complete mockery of them, and he takes down their entire kingdom with his breath alone. Dude is a monster. He's got the superstar, the Mushroom Kingdomites are petrified, and he could easily conquer the entirety of the universe. But...
Peaches, 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 ah! Oh, yeah!
yeah, he lets his heart do the talking and creates an immense weak spot in his character that brings out jealousy, hot-headedness, and most importantly, a way for Peach and company to bring him down. Now, I get why they did this from a creative angle. It's a kid's movie after all, the villain's gotta be a little bit silly, but he had such great moments like the opening scene and his intimidation of Luigi.
We'll see how tough this Mario is when he watches me kill his brother!
He's freaking scary, man, and he could have been an all-time great Bowser. I mean, Jack Black kills it, but the whole Peach thing leaves it as kind of a missed opportunity. And I know he's the most important character for moving the plot forward, but this ranking's more for how well they handled the character, and not necessarily just how involved they are.
Look in the mirror. You have nothing to worry about.
Kamek's a smaller character in the games, and it was so cool to see him get a decent role in the movie. They made a friggin' action figure of him for crying out loud. He's super loyal to Bowser, basically serving as his right-hand man, and his wizard powers are shown to be pretty damn strong. But like Bowser, he lets his love interest get in the way of a great portrayal, but at least here it was pretty funny. They did about as much as they could with him, and I wouldn't change it a bit. He's a cool inclusion and nothing more. The Blue Shell Koopa was probably this movie's most competent villain through and through. He's the general of the Koopa army, kept tabs on everything Mario was doing, and despite an irrational boss, led a successful ambush on Rainbow Road. But his most memorable moment was fighting with Mario on cart. He crushes Mario's cart and almost kills him, but he hitches a ride with Donkey Kong in the nick of time, they attack him, his cart spins out, and the heroes seemingly win. Enter the Blue Shell, Mario Kart's most notorious item that also throws a wrench in their escape plans and sends them plummeting down toward uncharted waters. He quite literally went out with a bang, and if it weren't for some luck on Mario and Donkey Kong's end, that would have been the last of them, and Bowser would have all but won. I know he's a minor character, but for what he is, he's elite. Donkey Kong's kind of an underdeveloped character. He's the same cocky, hard-headed guy from start to finish, and that's not in itself bad, especially if he's a likable character. He's not a likable character. He plays with his food too much in the battle arena, which costs him the match and forces the Kong army to help Peach, which is pretty useful, but not what he wanted. He's a very stubborn character that's physically super strong, but is a bit of an idiot, which is true to his origins, but his unwillingness to grow makes him hard to like. Mario saves his life, and they have a really personal moment inside that eel that ate him, but instead of showing any ability to empathize, even when his situation is the exact same as Mario's, he reverts to more insults, and that makes him kinda intolerable. Now, at the end, he does pull through and help to save the day, but I don't really think that redeems him. I'd toss him in the mid-tier as a cool character to see, and leave it at that.
The greatest army in the world!
People did not like Cranky Kong when this movie came out, and I kinda get it, but what else did you really want from him? I get that he's not very cranky, but that could easily get pretty annoying, and paired with Donkey's character could have been terrible, so I'm kinda glad they avoided that. I know some people hate his voice, but it never really bothered me. He sounds a bit congested, I mean, he's an old guy, it makes sense, and it fits the character fine, so I don't see a big deal. I was happy to see him in the movie, and he didn't overstay his welcome, so he's going right next to his son in mid-tier, for completely different reasons.
The stupid Mario Brothers.
It was awesome to see Foreman Spike somehow make his way onto the big screen, and while he was used just the right amount, he was either being a typical asshole or cowering down when weird mutants from the sewers attacked. He's pretty freaking worthless.
What'd I say?
I'm including Mario's extended family as a placement because they were in this movie, and I was stoked to get some insight into the Mario Brothers' home life, and then quickly disappointed when everyone took a steaming pile of shit on Mario's dream. Their mom supported them, which was nice, and they were only really seen at the beginning and end, which is the right amount, and made me way too happy when they were first on screen, so...
And all that's left is you and the infinite void.
And because why not, Luma Lee. He got a freaking Happy Meal toy after all. He's rotting in prison the entire movie, makes everyone feel worse about their predicament, and then does the same thing for the audience at the end of the movie. So, while funny to see, is still a worthless. And there you have it.
New? No.